Michele, Madonna here, Shelby. We're going to get started on your balance now. Hope things are well in Pennsylvania. I see it's a very hot day over there compared to here, and I know you talk in Fahrenheit, so I can't do any of that. But today we're maybe 8 to 18 or something like that Celsius. You're getting up to 35, so stay cool. Okay, so we've been chatting about the notes and what we're going to be going in, but we'll work on as many things as we can. Okay, so I'm now 100% Michele. Hold in, hold out, beautiful. Okay, so we'll stack in some structural stuff first. Stack in your knees, and because your right side's been sore, what I might do is start by popping in some structural imbalances around the body first, because of course the structure of the body can be changed with stress. So fantastic with all the yoga and meditation and that sort of thing you've been doing. It just helps to keep bringing us back down to a nice core level of yeah. Check out your gates. Okay, in relation to any and all fight, flight, freeze with Michele's body. Yeah, so there's a big gate wanting to run away, wanting to get away from something. Big on the right side. Fingers outstretched. Yeah, and fairly major with the hand, so that's out by about, say, 1.5 inches, 4 centimeters. So I'll see what the body wants to start with, what connections we've got. Okay, well, I know this isn't one of your biggest priorities out of all the things you sent me, but something underlying that's probably then messing with your ability to stick to an eating plan or the contentment in your life and with your job and trying to transition is more the underlying anxiety and paranoia about health, wellness, you know, and being out of your comfort zone. So for some reason that's showing up as the first thing. So we'll see where that leads us. Is that a priority? No. Oh, okay. Okay, is that a priority? Yes. Okay, so there's something about change that's really challenging for your nervous system. I suppose getting sick, it's a change. I suppose being out of your normal living space, your comfort zone, is a change. Oops. Oh, one, sorry. Put my glasses on and I still got the page wrong. Okay. Okay, so there's two things going on here in relation to change. One of them is, so I'll check it, I'll see whether it's in first, second, third layer of stress, and then I'll see whether there's sabotages in there in relation to it, and then we'll see what we need to do. I realise that change is a part of the natural progression of growth. Hold. I realise all issues, blocks, and fears around change. I release all issues, blocks, and fears around change, allowing me to fulfill my dreams, goals, and ambitions. And hold. Okay. Is there psychological reversal? Yes. Want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust. So it's safety. It is safe to let go of these problems. Hold. It is safer to keep these problems. Hold. So without getting into the survival stuff yet, the amygdala, just in relation to those, is going into pain punishment circuit. So for whatever reason, something in your past must have, associated with change, must have created a fear of change, something that you felt you were being punished for. Your body didn't like it and said, oh my God, change is bad. And the other one that showed up is which one was it? Yeah, right. I remain grounded and centered during the process of change. And hold. Okay. Is there sabotage in relation to this? Psychological reversal? Yep. Want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust. So part of your brain just doesn't even trust that you can change without stress. So because you've suffered that anxiety or paranoia in relation to change in the past, part of your nervous system just goes, that just ain't possible. So it's, I trust I can let go of this problem. And hold. Okay. I trust it's better to keep this problem. Hold. Okay. And that one's wanting to run away. So rather than trusting that change can be good, your brain would just rather run away. Stay at home, not make the move. Do we need to add in any more information before going to a diffusion? There's a flower essence. It's an Aussie bush flower essence. And it's what we call the research essences, which is funny because they're like 22 years old, so they're pretty much mainstream now, but at the time they were research essences. And Boab is showing up, that's for family beliefs. So it's the stuff you've taken on that you believe that's not based on fact. It's based on things that have been said to you or things that are in the genetic line that your brain just simply has never questioned. And then of course in families we just play the role, and it's quite a big thing to actually change that role. The affirmation at the beginning, which isn't what we're going to be working on, but I'll just say it, it's yield to the current of life. unencumbered by baggage. Now, I hate to say it, but sometimes family does just tend to give us that baggage, which is not a lot of fun. I had a few nicknames when I was a kid that are, you know, they did not help anything about moving forward. So BOAB is for taking on negative family thought patterns. It helps you, it means that we can repeat past negative experiences. So the positives are about releasing past negative actions within families, so abuses, prejudices, that sort of thing. It also helps to release our own negative thought patterns that become our own because of our experience. Deep held emotions, and it helps us to get into the whole positive growth, which, you know, once again with the meditation yoga, you're already well and truly on your way there. Yeah, this is 8 drops, so this could potentially be something that has come through either in the womb or through the genetic inheritance. Okay, so the affirmation showing up here is, I release and clear all negative conditioning and family traits from my psyche. I now release and clear all negative conditioning and family traits from my psyche. Yeah, because it's 8 drops, so usually 7 drops. 6, 7 is most of our life. By the time we're getting into 7, 8, 9, it's usually in the womb. Okay. Got the twitch going on today? Not so bad?
No, pretty good today. A little shaky in the hands.
Oh, yeah.
But at least I'm not going to be trying to throw my leg off the table or something.
Well, that'll be fun. Okay. Is there any more information we need to add in before going to survival? Oh, okay, so we need to get into the celestial circuit first. Beginning and ends of governing and central meridians. So when we get stuck in that unconscious patterning, the meridians aren't flowing so that we can't access our conscious brain very easily and hold. And once again, it's that sort of thing where meditation yoga helps to bring us back to our center. So as we're visualizing and working with our chakras and our meridians, it's helping. So interesting, once again, your knee's been playing up because it's the right side that's out. So your center of gravity energetically is off to the right. Okay. Is it behind? Is it to the side? Is it front? It's to the side. Side slightly forward, side slightly back. So side slightly back. So it's the masculine side of the body. It's sort of just behind. So it's a little bit in the past. You know, even negative stuff in our life becomes quite addictive. So when we're used to anxiety and the trauma and the creation of issues, sometimes we get so used to that, anything new, it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, can be throwing us into chaos. So the right side is about doing. It's about getting things done. It's that masculine energy. It can be linked in with emotions that we're allowing out rather than and this is just Chinese philosophy. So the female emotions, we more suppress them. The masculine emotions, we more release them. So perhaps after 3 years of yoga meditation, your brain is finally at a spot where it's going to go, right, that's it. That's my life and I'm going for it. Okay, so we've got to reconnect these 2 meridians first. What you can do anytime you feel they're disconnected is put your tongue on the roof of the mouth and put your hands over your base chakra And if you do that until you yawn or breathe deeply, that's a bit of a sign that those two meridians have reconnected. As I was working through those acupuncture points, they are all pulsed quite quickly and nicely until I hit these little guys on the side of their head, and they're integration points. So it's on the right side of the brain, which is emotional gestalt, big picture thinking. And all four of them were just jammed. You know, what that means is when I hold my hands on the body, you know, usually within a few seconds it just starts pulsing. So then I just make sure it's a nice even pulse, and then I move on to the next point. With these ones, there was just nothing. And they're to do, so once again, this is our emotional, creative, big thinking, big picture stuff. So in relation to, so it's like in relation to change and in relation to trusting that things will be okay if things change, your brain just loses its ability to say the words about what you want, hear the thoughts in your brain about what you want, create the visuals and the concepts that allow you to go, okay, this is where I want to go in my life. This is what I want to change in my life. It's like the whole area just shut down when I got there. And down here it's escape, submission, freeze. So I don't know if there's been someone who's told you in your world that you're unworthy to get what you want. Okay. Okay. So let's just recheck the celestial circuit. And hold. Beautiful. And at yoga and meditation, anytime you're doing stuff with the base chakra, if you do just pop your tongue on the roof of the mouth, it'll just really activate those meridians. But we do, however, need to do a little bit more on the base chakra. So, yeah, and once again, change potentially. So now that we've got the meridian going with your central governing, now we're going to go into that base chakra, see what's going on there. And hold. Hold. No, it's only first stage stress. Piece of cake. So what do we need? Oh, we need another essence. This time it's a bark flower essence as opposed to an Australian bush. Okay, in relation to change and anxiety and paranoia and belief in self, the whole kit and caboodle, okay. Yeah, right, so where the developmental directory is jammed, so it's as we move through life, if things get jammed at a certain age where too much responsibility is put on us, or something happens that at a particular age group, then that can affect the way we put ourselves out into the world. Now, the timeline showing up here is between 6 and 13 years old, which I know is an expense, but the flower essence is pine. And pine bark flower is about self-blame, self-reproach, setting high standards for themselves. And what showed up in that phase, you know, so 6 to 13-year-old is when we start caring and having concern for other people, which is obviously a good thing. But where it's got jammed for you is that part of your brain felt like you could only belong if you were caring, or the responsibility for others was just too much. So now that could have been friends at school, it could have been family members, it could have been distant family members, you know, it could have been anyone that you basically learnt a lesson that, hey, as long as I'm there for everyone, I'm going to be okay. And once again, that can be part of the BOAB energy as well, when beliefs about ourselves are put on us by our family. And once again, this isn't what's going on now in your life. This is what was going on at the time that made your brain go, oh, life is stressful, life is, I've got to keep on top of this so that nothing goes wrong. So pine, yeah, so the positives are realization of your self-worth and that genuine humility that just allows us to know that we're okay. We'll do the best we can at all times, but you can't be everything to everyone at all times. No, it's only 3 drops. Oops, hello. Nope.
Running a bit low.
Running a bit low. Beautiful. Once again. Yeah, okay. And that is part of the lack of contentment in your life with your job and overall purpose. So it's, I don't know whether it's a good or bad time on the planet at the moment, trying to realize your self-worth, but it's self-life, where you want to be going in your life. But it's, you know, it could be the best time to explore things. Where do we need to go next? Yeah, okay, so we've just hit some survival stuff. Hold. That's survival switching. Hold. That one. So that one's deep survival is showing up. And hold. And that's hidden deep survival. So those are those little guys in the brain, in the unconscious part of the brain, that go, holy moly, life is stressful, it's never going to get easy. And the thing is about these things that trigger the survival stuff, it doesn't have to be a massive thing. It can be something that was huge to us at the time. Like I had one client many years ago, and something happened around the 2.5 years old. That's what the muscle testing was saying. And his mum said, I know exactly what that was. She was in a supermarket one day. He was in the trolley. She went around the corner like 2 meters away from him just to grab something off the shelf and bring it back. And he threw the biggest tanty in the world. And she said that totally changed their dynamic. He became anxious to do everything. She became the helicopter mum, unable to leave him alone, and was always checking on him. And they really clashed for years and years and years. And we had to diffuse that stress at that time. Okay. So, deep survival, hidden deep survival, wanting to run away. Now I'm going to go into that periventricular survival system and see which things are really ramped up for you in your brain. Okay. Anterior cingulate gyrus. This is the one that does set up a lot of compulsions and paranoias and anxieties, because it's about needing to be perfect at all times, and that might not be quite the terminology you use in your brain. But when we're getting anxious about everything in our life, what's the big fear? If you run that through, what is the worst that can happen? So if you go and do study and create a new world for yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen? Are you worried about failing? Was one of your teachers when you were, 8 years old, a nasty person? Sort of what's going back in there? Where did that self-esteem issue start? That means that, okay, you're not happy and fulfilled in your current world. Why can't you move on? What's stopping you from doing that? So the anterior cingulate gyrus, it wants to be perfect under stress all the time. So therefore it sets up lots of paranoias and anxieties and stresses, so that we don't actually do, if we do less, we can feel bad about ourselves less. Okay. And these are the three little areas that can be linked in with the genetic stuff too. So anterior cingulate gyrus, orbitofrontal cortex, and subclavicular gyrus. So subclavicular gyrus, it's the one that's to do with how we deal genetically with stress from an anger perspective, whether or not we release that anger or whether or not we suppress that anger. Okay, there's another layer of subclavicular gyrus. Oh, okay, all right. So this is linking in with something that broke your spirit, broke your heart. So I'm sure you've done meditation in relation to where your anxiety really started. And I know with the supplements, you'll be feeling more calm, than you used to anyway. But I would sort of think back through your life and think about where was that initial anxiety? Like, what was going on at school or at home or at a relative's, or what was going on that really kicked this into action? Because all of a sudden, for the first time, I've hit fear, threat, danger, in your amygdala. So it's something to do with a broken spirit, real tameness. So someone or something tried to tame your nervous system energy so that you didn't have the confidence to get out and about. Oh, okay. Third one's shown up. Haven't got rid of the book yet. Yeah, so this one's more to do, so this one is an anger one. So whether or not you release it or whether or not you hold it in and suck it up, princess. But yeah, GV14, so it's a gallbladder point. And in several of these leap processes, it relates to rage and fight, but we can either internalize that or we can externalize it. And in Chinese medicine, it's the fear, threat, danger that really drives the anxiety, the anger and resentment, frustration, rage. So it's fearful of something. So what is that for you? I mean, I know fear of change, but why is that fear of change there? So is that fear of change there because you moved and it was a bad move, or because there was something going on in the family dynamic, or because another child was born, or because, you know, there's usually a trigger, once again, so thinking about that. Oh, okay. So I've just hit reticular activating system, but this time it's to do with muscles in the body. So reticular activating system lives in behind the brain stem. And it controls the first hormones your body, or the hormones your body releases when you're doing something new in your world. Yeah, so when you're doing something new, it messes with your serotonin levels. And, you know, we make a huge amount of serotonin in the small intestine, like 80–90% of our serotonin is released in the small intestine. And that's creating vigilance in your nervous system. I don't know why, but I need to put some selenite over your heart chakra. Okay, something now. So from that reticular activating perspective, so the core things are the low serotonin creating vigilance, but that's messing with the physicality of your body. So firstly, I'll ask the body in relation to organs that it's messing with. Okay, so the first organ showing up is liver. Liver's very much relating to stress. Hold, I'm going back, perfect. Hold up, I'm going down. Hold, I'm going back. Hold up, I'm going down. So it's overworking rather than underworking. Oh, maybe between the shoulder blades. I'll just check one more. Hold in for me. Okay, so there's a muscle in between the shoulder blades called the rhomboids. Hold in. Yeah, so they're exhausted, and that is, rhomboids are about externalizing rage, anger, but sometimes we just can't say anything because we're not allowed to within the world we're living. Yeah. So it's the liver meridian, and it's about handling your responsibilities and how you feel about that. Like even having a job where you're not feeling fulfilled, you know, part of us can have that guilt about going to work because, and maybe you are still putting in 100% even in a job where it's just not burning your flame anymore. But that's hard to do when you don't have the passion for it that you would love to have. So there could be a bit of internal resentment at yourself for actually just staying somewhere where you know you're not feeling fulfilled. There's different aspects to the liver meridian. I'll just check them out. Liver, gallbladder. Yeah, okay. So the one showing up is about what do you need, even climate-wise? Do you need some fresh air? Do you need some grounding? Do you need some mountains? Do you need some seaside? Do you need, what do you need, to get out there and in the world and really start enjoying nature and life and getting away from all the trappings of today's world. Let's recheck. Rhomboids, hold in for me. Beautiful. Hold in. Lovely. Once again, organs. Okay, so kidneys are showing up. Okay, so there's 3 muscle tests each side for the kidneys. Hold up for me. Okay. Hold up for me. Hold up for me. Yeah, okay. Kidneys are about fear and anxiety. Hold up for me. Hold up for me. Hold up for me. Interesting. Right side only. Yeah, fear, anxiety and awe, so, and sometimes we actually lose that awe of life, and that's not a great thing. So once again, thinking about what is your passion? How can you get more of that in your life? What gives you a buzz when you see it? Or when you see someone else talking about their world. And again, hold, hold, hold. Beautiful. Okay, once again, reticular activating system. Checking all the organs. Okay, now I'm going to check muscles. So same meridians, but this time I'm asking about muscles rather than organs. Okay, so circulation of the sex organs is showing up, but the muscles associated with that are glute medius and the glutes. And hold out for me. Okay. And hold out for me. Okay. And actually, if these are weak, then that can put impact on the muscles around your knees and make them not so flash. Hold up for me. Yeah. Hold up for me. Okay. So, yeah, so circulation of the sex organs, it's things that impact, around this entire area. So that can be clenching your jaw, grinding your teeth. It might be not sleeping well through the night. Just always be aware of your jaw. Whether or not you're getting headaches, that can jam your cranials. Once again, potentially diet might be something. Getting onto a diet that works for you to maintain and feel great about your body. And hold out. Beautiful. And hold out. Good. Hold up. Hold up. Lovely. Okay, once again, working through muscles. Okay, large intestines. So 2 major muscles there. I'm going to check the fascia lata on the side of the leg and the quadratus lumborum in the lower back. And hold up for me. Okay. And hold up for me. Oh, it tried on the right. Definitely worse. Oh, sorry, it tried on the left. Definitely worse on the right. Hold on to the edges of the table. Hold out for me. Pretty good. Hold out for me. Pretty good. Okay, so it like a fraction, but really not too bad. So mostly the, yeah, Ryan, if your knees, were they more on the right side? Yeah, so far the muscles supporting the front of the hip into the lower spine, the psoas iliacus and pectineus didn't work on the right, but they were okay on the left. And now on the right with the large intestine meridian, the fascia lata showed up. So that means that this side just isn't being supported very well. So the poor little knee is sitting underneath those muscles, trying to support itself. And hold. Beautiful. Okay, so once again, reticular activating system, messing with muscles, organs, structure of the body. Okay, Latissimus Dorsi is showing up. This is about blood sugar, so maintaining your blood sugar levels, and anxiety actually spikes your insulin, so anxiety can feed into blood sugar issues that make us want to eat way more than, you know, we potentially should. Hold in for me, and hold in for me, as do hormones, of course. You know, when we get that PMT and the munchies associated with it, it's a way of the body trying to quench our estrogen that hasn't been dealt with in the first half of the cycle. Yeah, so they're both unlocking at the moment. So that's the Latissimus Dorsi. You may turn the heater on again. You're good so far?
For the moment.
Okay. So in relation to blood sugar, I don't know whether you're aware of that affecting your moods and your energy or your anxiety. Because once I sort of picked up the Latissimus Dorsi energy for the pancreas, and then I put on the amygdala, and the emotion that showed up with that was frustration, anger. Hold in for me. Beautiful. And hold. So you know how we can get that whole crankiness when we don't eat regularly?